All right, it is 7:30. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my second nutrition talk. My name is Rachel Cilio, and I'm one of the coaches here with Harboring Better Nutrition. The ultimate reason why we started these nutrition talks is to provide a safe place for everyone to come and just be informed on a variety of nutritional topics. The great thing about our world today is that we have unlimited access to information, but with that comes an overwhelming amount of information and also the uncertainty of where this information might be coming from. So, I want to do the work for you so that you can walk away with a healthy amount of information that you can use to hopefully implement into your lives today. So, with that, I'm going to get started right away. Gut health is so incredibly important, and there is a lot to cover. So, I don't want to waste any more time. To get started, here are the main topics that I'll be talking about tonight. The first one is science behind gut health and brain health, why that is so important, gut microbiome, and a healthy gut checklist and how to implement some changes. So, there have been some recent research helping bridge the gap between the connection of gut health and mental health. It has become very clear that these two are very closely linked and they impact each other in a lot of different ways. So, I'm currently reading this book. It's called This Is Your Brain on Food, and it's by Uma Nadu, who is a nutritional psychiatrist from Harvard. And I want to give you a few takeaways from her book. The first one being that the gut and the brain are connected through the gut brain axis, which is a complex communication system. It involves the nervous system, the immune system, and the endocrine system. And I'll explain why that's all important. And the second piece is our gut is providing this excess with neurotransmitters, hormones, and signaling molecules that influence directly our brain and our behavior. In cases of poor gut health, we see inflammation, deficiencies in really essential nutrients such as omegas, B vitamins, magnesium can occur, which have been linked to depression. So think of your gut and your brain talking to each other over some type of biological cell phone. The basis of all body communications is chemical. So when you take a pill for a headache, you swallow it, right? It enters your mouth, then it makes your way to your gut where it gets broken down. The chemicals from the pill travels from your gut to your brain through the bloodstream. And in your brain, it can decrease the inflammation. It loosens up the tense blood vessels. That's essentially how headache medicine works. This is the same system on how chemicals produced by the gut can also be reached to your brain and vice versa. So I thought that was a really important example to think about when you're eating foods and what you're consuming. Another vital piece of information is the specific neurotransmitters that travel within this axis. So, specifically speaking, dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine. These chemicals are critical for regulating mood and processing thought and emotion. So, serotonin specifically is a key chemical who a lot of times you see deficient in anxious people, people who might be depressed, and that plays a major role in regulating the gut-brain axis. So, why is that important? 90% of the serotonin receptors are found in your gut, which is pretty mind blowing. So, the simple truth is that the food you eat can have just as much of an effect on your brain as the drugs that you take. Well, how is something possible that this basic and natural, like eating, can be as potent as drugs that cost millions of dollars? Part of this answer kind of lies within the gut bacteria. So, the gut microbiome. When we discuss bacteria in our gut, we refer to this as the gut microbiota. The term microbiota refers to the many, many microorganisms that live within the human gastrointestinal system, commonly known as either gut flora or the gut microbiome. These tiny little microorganisms help maintain digestion, metabolism, immune system, hormone imbalance, mental health. It's a lot of things help with this. Your gut provides the bacteria with a place to live and thrive. And in return, they perform crucial tasks for us that our bodies can't perform on their own. So the gut microbiota is easily influenced by a variety of factors. The three things specifically that I want to touch upon: diet, lifestyle, and genetics. It's important to recognize our gut bacteria consists of a lot of different types or groups of bacteria, and they each contribute differently to your health. These groups of bacteria are in competition for resources to sustain and proliferate. So they want to be there in your body. What our diet and our surroundings consist of is a contributing factor to this rivalry. So you're either directly helping to feed your good bacteria or you're starving them out. Another good example for you to think about: there's been numerous studies that have examined the Western diet, which is typically the diet that you see here, and how it impacts our gut health. This diet is typically very high in processed and refined foods, saturated fats, and sugars, and this all leads to a decrease in the diversity of good gut bacteria and a higher amount of harmful species that you'll find in your body. Studies have also shown that following this dietary trend can lead to a decrease in also the production of short chain fatty acids within the body. So these acids aid in regulating our immune function, metabolism, and our gut lining. By the way, fun fact, 70 to 80% of our immune function is found in our gut. So this negative shift leads to chronic inflammation, poor gut lining, increased risk for gut complications, even obesity, metabolic disorder, inflammatory bowel disease, even certain cancers later on down the road. So I really wanted to stress the importance here that our body functions are all connected. And in my opinion, the best medicine for your overall health is your diet. So we have a baseline understanding of the importance of healthy gut and how our food can impact that. So how do we start to trust our gut? Let's get into some foods to focus on and look through a gut health checklist. I absolutely love this acronym that goes with brain foods. We now know that what's good for your gut is also good for your brain. So you're basically killing two birds with one stone here. At the bottom right of the picture, you can see the book I referenced and also where I got a lot of my information tonight. I highly recommend this book. So, stocking your pantry with brain foods. It is important to have a plan of action, a purpose, and a good mindset at the grocery store. Do not, I repeat, do not shop when you are hungry. I've done this so many times. It is not a recipe for being mindful about your choices, and you're much more likely to buy unhealthy comfort foods. Because of time, I will extend on just a few of these specific words here within brain foods. So antioxidants. You can get this from a broad range of dietary sources, especially if you're following a wide variety of foods. But I would also consider multivitamin. I use the brand Thorne. Nuts have an are amazing fats for your brain, but be careful about how much you consume. I would say about a fourth of a cup a day. Granola is also great, but be careful with added ingredients. I use the brand Purely Elizabeth. You can find that at most grocery stores now. Oils, avoid excess saturated fats. Unhealthy oils used for frying. If you're in my last nutrition talk, I talk a lot about that. Keep it simple. I use avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, even ghee. Omega-rich foods. So we always go back to oily fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, chia seeds. I like putting those in overnight oats or even my yogurt, Brussels sprouts, and walnuts. And then spices, but you can't forget about spices. No calorie, guilt-free way to boost your flavor in all of your food. And they also add a lot of beneficial brain and gut effects as well. A few that I like are turmeric paired with black pepper, saffron, red pepper flakes, oregano, and rosemary. So specifically speaking, I want to talk about prebiotic and probiotic. They play a very important role in gut health. Prebiotics are non-digestible fibers that fermented by the bacteria in our gut, which allows them to grow and multiply. So think of this as food for your good bacteria. Probiotics are the actual live microorganisms that provide us with many benefits. So, foods to consider for prebiotics are fruits like bananas, vegetables, any type of green vegetables, onions, garlic, also nuts and whole grains you can find. Probiotics can be found in yogurt, kefir, fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kombucha, which is one of my favorites. Also, some cheeses, and typically they'll say live cultures or active cultures. It is recommended to consume about 10 to 20 billion CFUs to support a healthy gut and strong immune system. So you should be eating these every day. Fiber. Fiber is a very important prebiotic. So it helps keep your weight down, it decreases inflammation, plays a huge role in your large intestine. So if you are inconsistent with your bowel movements, this might be an important contributing factor. Please do not take this information, though, and drastically change your fiber. Too much fiber too fast can cause distress in your GI, leading to gas, bloating, and constipation. So the recommendation is to include 25 to 30 grams a day. If you're nowhere near that, just start slowly. The gut health checklist. This is a healthy gut checklist, and I would love to go through with you one by one, but I just don't have that time tonight. But this will be included in an email that I will send with the recipes along with the next slide. I actually forgot to tell you, I'm going to go back really quick to the brain foods. I forgot to mention that I want to stress that don't be afraid to push yourself to expand your diet. It can be very overwhelming to hear like all these different foods to try. So to help you in this, I am sending you all of these resources. I'm going to be sending you recipes. I'm also going to be sending you this gut health checklist because I don't have that much time tonight. I want you to be able to go through it. And then I'm also going to be sending you what I'm going to be talking about next. So within this checklist, these are just good questions to ask yourself and to get a better idea of maybe a direction that you want to take if you are struggling with some gut health issues. This is something else I'm going to be sending you. It is very hard sometimes for people to see just how important gut health is to your overall health because there isn't a number on a scale that tells you need to change something unless you do some type of like comprehensive stool testing. So underlying gut issues can deter progress and potential roadblocks on journeys for better health that you might be missing. So the gut pyramid is a great method that could help you with just even more guidance on where to start. So if you're looking at the pyramid, I would first work from the bottom and then work your way up. So as I said before, these nutrition talks are for informational purposes. I want to provide a trusting space where you can come in, you can learn some important information, leave with some tips. And I wanted to extend my gut conversation to two people whom I personally know feel the same way as I do when it comes to helping individuals' lives through health and wellness. I'm fortunate enough that one of them is my sister, who is a nutritional therapy practitioner. When I asked her to choose two of the top things that can be harmful for your gut health, she said number one is feeding the bad bacteria with antibiotics, processed foods, and excess sugar. There's a time and a place for antibiotics, but Western medicine way overuses them, leading to your gut health to pay the price. So antibiotics wipes out the bad and the good bacteria in your gut, and it can take years to recolonize the good bacteria. So if you need to go on an antibiotic, pair it with a probiotic and always continue the probiotic for at least a year after the antibiotic. Really good information to know. Number two is low stomach acid. Acid reflux heartburn is typically caused by low stomach acid, contrary to what most people are told. Without the proper stomach acid, your chewed up food just sits in your stomach, unable to break down properly, and it starts to push back up, getting that feeling in your esophagus, like heartburn, reflux. Bloating can also be an indicator of this. So try taking 3 deep belly breaths before you eat. Um, this helps your body break down food. When your body is stressed, it has a very hard time breaking down food. So think rest and digest and eat slow. You can also take a shot of apple cider vinegar straight, or you can dilute it with a little bit of water before each meal, and that helps perk up those stomach juices. So the last piece of advice comes from a childhood friend of mine who made a big shift. She was in hospital life as an RN, and now she is a level 2 integrated health practitioner. So I really appreciate these two for giving me some great advice for tonight. I love her information that she posts on her Instagram. So I put her handle up if you want to follow her. I asked her the same 2 questions, and she said that the 2 things that are most harmful are excessive amounts of anything inflammatory. You've heard all of this tonight, and stress. People overlook stress, but if your body isn't able to relax and digest food, that'll affect your gut health, just like what my sister had said. 2 things that she recommends are organic whole foods, especially fruits, veggies, and animal products, and cooking at home. Smoothies are also a great way to pack in nutrients, and they're easy to digest and stay hydrated. Okay, there you have it, everyone. Thank you. I know that was a lot of information. I try to pack it all in 15 minutes. Keep an eye out for an email from me for some recipes incorporating the brain and gut foods that we talked about. You'll also get a chance to take a look at that gut health checklist, the pyramid. I am taking clients, so if you're looking for some extra guidance towards a healthier lifestyle, or you just need some type of accountability partner, I would love to help. My email is on the screen, but like I said, you'll also get an email from me later on tonight for recipes. Thank you all so much for coming to my talk, and have a wonderful rest of your night.